Okay. So coming to the analysis of portal frame. So today we will learn how to find out the various steps. First thing is that we will learn what are the steps involved in the portal frame method. That is very important. Okay, very important. What are the steps involved in portal method? There are four major steps. I told you last day that in this frame analysis, which is subjected to only horizontal loads, first is calculation of shear force of columns, calculation of shear force of columns. Second is calculation of bending moment of columns. Third is calculation of bending moment of beams. And then fourth, calculation of shear force of beams. So again repeat, calculation of shear force of column, calculation of beams of columns, calculation of beams, bending moments of, calculation of shear force of column, bending moment of columns, bending moment of beams, and shear force in beam. Four different steps are involved to analyze any multi-story frame under horizontal loading using portal method. So let us take one sample uh, frame. Okay, so I am taking 3 by 3 frame. First, we will have to understand what is the analysis or mathematics behind this. Okay, so let me take. I am taking a 3 by 3 frame. Okay, so this is a 3 by 3 frame. Okay, you can see this is a 3 by 3 frame. 3 bays and 3 columns. Sorry, 3 bays and 3 stories. The lengths, the bay lengths are L each. L, L, and L. So the bay lengths are equal length and story heights. I'm taking same. Okay, H, H, H. This is floor height 3, floor level 2, and floor level 1. So I have 3 different bays. Center to center distance between column is called bay. L, 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 and height H, H, H. And let me consider in my problem, my horizontal loads are given. Always remember the horizontal load in each floor level will be given in the problem. So P1, P2, P3 are the 3 lateral forces. P1 is acting at story 3, highest story. P2 is acting at story 2, and P3 is acting at story 1. Okay. So let me consider this. Let the figure is let me now show A1, A2. Let me show the points. A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B3, B4. So I am marking these points. Okay, these are the beam column joints. I am marking these points. A1, A2, A1, A2, A3, A4, B1, B2, B4. C1, C3, C4. D1, D2. So D1, D2, D3, and D4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there are 16 points. There are 16 beam column joints A1, A2, A3, A4. B1, just a minute. Okay. So B1, B2, B3, B4, C1, C2, C3, C4, and D1, D2, D3, D4. Okay. Also, I am representing the horizontal shear, that is the shear force to resist the forces. So first, I have to represent the point of counterflexion. The red dots are the point of counterflexion. Okay. Why there is so much lead? Those who are joining so late, I don't know why you are joining so late. Everyone has started joining the class from about 20 minutes before. You people have already started joining late. You are sitting at home and you are enjoying here. You are sitting at home and you are enjoying the full ambience of the homely atmosphere. Still, you are joining late. So please don't tell me that net problem, because the net is very strong for you all. Okay, I know that. In remote areas, the net problem is different, but the names I have seen who have joined lately. Okay, I should freeze the meeting actually, but I am not freezing it, just for your sake only. The horizontal shear for the exterior column, let us take Q1. So the interior will be, sorry, Q2 or twice Q. The interior shear force will be twice Q. Already we know that from the last assumption, from assumption B, that the shear force taken by each exterior column, or we can say the shear force taken by each interior column, this and this, will be double that of the exterior column. So for floor 1, for floor 3, I am taking Q. For floor 2, I am taking R. So for floor 1 is okay. So now, so at floor level 1, we have S shear force, R and 3. Okay. So the horizontal shear means the shear force resisting the lateral. Horizontal shear are the forces acting opposite to these lateral forces. That means they are resisting these lateral forces. If there was no shear force here, the frame have been completely swayed and collapsed. Because of its geometry, because of its property, the columns are providing maximum shear force to reduce these lateral loads. So the horizontal shear at floor level 3, the horizontal shear at floor level 3, the horizontal shear at floor level 3 is Q and twice Q. Horizontal shear at floor level 2 is R and 2R. We have already learned that in the from diagram, we have seen that the shear force at floor level 2 is R and twice R. Horizontal shear at 1 is S and twice. The horizontal shear okay. So Q R S. Okay. Now first we have to study what are the different stages. Step 1. So to solve, we have to follow 4 steps. I told you. Step 1. First is step 1. Calculation of, please, while doing the problems also, you will keep this heading. Calculation of shear force in all the columns. In all the columns, in all the floors. So what I am talking? Step 1 is calculation of shear force in all the columns. That means we have to calculate this Q twice Q twice Q Q, then R 2R 2R R. So the values will be given P1 P2 P3. The values will be given in the examination. In the question paper, the values will be given, and you have to calculate the shear force, that is R, Q, and S at empty floor. So the first step is calculation of shear force in all the floor levels. Okay, in all the floor levels, to calculate the shear force. Okay, first is, so we will write P1 equals to, so first we will write at floor level 3. We start analysis from top floor to bottom floor. Always remember, for portal method, we start the analysis from top floor, that is third floor, second floor, and first floor. So this is how we will start. So we will write at floor 3, but at floor level 3, we will write at floor level 3, P1 will be equals to Q plus 2Q plus 2Q plus Q. P1 equals to Q plus 2Q plus 2Q plus Q. Or we can say the Q will be equals to P1 by 6. So the total number, the total value of Q will be P1 by 6. The value of Q will be P1 by 6. Correct? The value of Q will be P1 by 6. That means Q plus 2, all these shear forces they are resisting P1. They are resisting P1. Now come to flow 2. At floor level 2, so at floor level 2, what will be the concept? At floor level 2, R, 2R, 2R, R. So R plus twice R plus twice R plus R. So all these are the horizontal shear forces given by the column in story 2. That means second floor. In second floor, we are seeing all these shear forces that will be equals to what? P2. Obviously, we have the lateral load at floor level P2 plus P1. Very important, make sure. So this R plus twice R R will resist what forces? Obviously, P2 is in this floor. P2 is in this floor. That will be the main thing. And also P1. Why? Because whenever we are going from top to the bottom, when we are moving down the floor, these shear forces R have to resist P1 as well as P2. तो जितना टॉप से नीचे फ्लोर जाते रहेंगे उतना हम लोग का लैटरल फोर्सेस का इफेक्ट बढ़ता रहेगा, उतना हम लोग का लैटरल फोर्सेस का इफेक्ट बढ़ता रहेगा. आइडिया अंडरस्टूड? तो जितना हम लोग ऊपर से नीचे जाएंगे, the more we go from top to down, the effect of lateral forces will be increasing. So therefore, we will write 6R is equals to P1 plus P2. We already know P1 and P2 values given in the question paper. So R will be P1 plus P2 by C. Everyone very distinctly take down the notes. So R will be equals to P1 plus P2 by 6. Next, for third floor, at floor level 3, what will be my concept? S plus 2S plus 2S plus S. That will be equals to P1 plus P2 plus P3. P1 plus P2 plus P3. Very nice. Matlab, see, this is the lowest story. This is the lowest story we are saying. So in this floor level, what are the loads? क्या load आ रहा है? P1 भी आ रहा है, P2 भी आ रहा है और P3 भी आ रहा है. So P1, P2 and P3. Yes. Last one is floor level. Sorry. Thank you. ये देवप्रिया नकिया नाम पे भूले गए. Yes. Thank you, Srishti. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Shomika. That is floor level 1. Thank you. So floor level 1 হচ্ছে কি হলো তাহলে all this adding is P1 plus P2 plus P3. সেখান থেকে কি হবে? From that we can see S equals to P1 plus P2 plus P3 divided by 6. divided by 6. Yes or no? This will be P1 plus P2 plus P3 divided by 6. Now, if we know the S, this value we have got. Similarly, we will get twice S, all these values. If we get R, similarly we can get twice R. Just we will double the values. So that is why, since this method is so easy, it is very less accurate. This cannot be so easy for any analysis. To calculate shear force, we apply some formula. Okay. And for continuous columns, to find out the shear force, it is very difficult. We are so easily finding out. That is why कुछ तो गड़बड़ है. गड़बड़ क्या है कि इसमें less accuracy. That is why the name approximate method. We are getting so easily the shear force. बाद में देखोगे bending moment भी easily मिल रहा है. That means it is an approximate or less accurate method. Let me take the attendance. So all of you know that if the meeting automatically ends, then you have to join with the same ID and password. Okay, sir? So everybody written down this one. I am going to rub this part. If you have written down, then you can write in the chat box that it's done. Thank you, my dear students, for such cooperation and continuous chatting. So this is stage 1. ये 12 marks question आएगा. Either it will come 10 or 12 marks question. So one part we have done, you will get part marks. Simple. The next thing, bending moment. Next is stage 2, bending moment. Calculation of bending moment. Calculation of the moments in column. Calculation of moments in columns in all flows. So we have got shear force. Now it is our time to find out the moment. Moment means bending moment. To find out this bending moment is very easy. This is not so difficult, not at all difficult. This method is not at all difficult. First, we will take, as I told you, at story 3. At story 3. So under story 3, we will first show you one sample of exterior column. Exterior columns are A1, A2, which will be similar to D1, D2. Okay. During calculation of the bending moments for beams as well as for columns, you just have to show one sample of exterior column, either this or this, and one sample for interior column, this or this. If for one column you are got, then it will be similar to the one exterior. And if you are getting one for interior, then it will be similar for another interior. Okay. So exterior column, so A1, A2. Let me take. I am representing here. Acha, I am representing A1, A2. Okay, shorthand. Okay. In short, I am writing A1, not capital. I have written B, C, and D in short. So these points will be represented in your examination paper. That what are these points? The name of the points will be given. ठीक है? So exterior column A1 and A2. Okay. So I am taking one example. I told you one sample will be enough for us. Okay. Now this point of contact flexure, we are getting here Q, Q. And point of contact flexure, we all know that this height is h by 2. H by 2, H by 2. Yes or no? This height is h by 2. Okay. So h by 2 point, I told you why h by 2, because the point of contact flexure lies at the midpoint of all the columns, as well as for beams, it will be also at the midpoint. As well as for columns and as well as for beams, this point of contact flexure will be at the midpoint, right? So we have Q into h by 2. So what will be my bending moment? If I take the diagram of moment A1, A2, the bending moment diagram will be like this. Sorry. If I take the bending moment diagram like this, at the point of contact flexure, my bending moment will be 0. We all know at the point of contact flexure, the bending moment will be 0. So moment, so here aim A1, A2, and here moment A2, A1. These are the end moments. Not fixed end moments, okay? Everyone, please make sure this is not the fixed end moment. So the value will be QH by 2, QH by 2. Q force just a cantilever action. Q, consider this is the, now consider this is the beam. Now just reverse it, it is a column. So this distance into point load. So Q into H by 2, and one will be plus and another will be minus.